Hi, and welcome to the farm. Today I'm here at Emu Logic out at the base of the Warrumbungles in Western New South Wales, and I'm here with Dan. Thanks, Dan.
No worries at all.
Can you tell us about yourself, your family, and your farming operation?
Yeah. Yes, my name's Dan. I married Nicole 9 years ago. So yeah, and then we moved out here 9 years ago too. So yeah, and we have 2 kids now. We've got a daughter Thea who's 4, and this is Logan who's only 3 weeks old. Yeah. And out here we run emus. So emus is our main operation, mainly for the oil, but we do the meat and everything else here too now. And as well as that, we've got cattle and sheep and a few goats we run, and all the different poultry as well, so keeps us nice and busy.
Sounds like it does.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about your introduction to the farm when you first came out here, and what it's like being moving here over the last few years?
Yeah, so I obviously spent a bit of time out here going out with Nicole, so I think we were together 2 or 3 years before we got married. So I spent sort of every second weekend out here, so got to know a fair bit about the farm and the operation of running it, even though that was only weekends, so a bit different to living out here full time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was good fun. And then yeah, so it's been interesting moving out here full time. Just yeah, a lot different of being here and not being in town, so it's been a lot different.
Today's episode to talk about the supportive link, CGC Design and Photography. They are a social media management company saving you time, creating brand consistency and boosting engagement across all your platforms. Now back on to today's interview.
Yeah.
What were some of the biggest challenges or changes when you first moved here? Something that surprised you about moving to the farm?
I think the biggest one I struggled with was not seeing mates so often. Because yeah, sort of living in town, living in Dubbo, just you could see them every couple of nights. You'd catch up with them, or living with mates there too, and then all of a sudden moving out here and not just being able to go around and see them. You know, having dinner every night or having that sort of stuff. So that was one of the biggest challenges, I think, and just being, not that we're so isolated, just being isolated enough that it's longer to drive to places to see people and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. To put people off a little bit coming out and seeing you.
Yeah, you know, parties and that sort of stuff, you come out sort of stuff, but it is an 3-hour round trip sort of to get back. So.
And how has the farm changed since you've moved here? How has it developed, and how have you, Nicole, value added to the farm in the last 9 years?
So the main reason we moved back out here was to help with the tourism side of stuff. So we were a little bit, had a few people out for tours and the tourism side. But yeah, since we've been out here, we've built a big shed for the tourists to have a little shop shed in there. So yeah, we've really focused on helping that, just having extra people on farm, because you need at least 1 or 2 people just to look after the shop, which is open pretty well every day, especially through school holidays. So then you obviously need someone to continue to do farm work, because yeah, all the farm work doesn't just stop when you're dealing with tourists and people. So yeah, that side of stuff, and the website too. So we've just created our website in the last 5 years, I think we've had it. So we're running that side of it. So just helping sales and all that sort of stuff happen. And yeah, that's our main role in this business. Yeah.
We are being joined by a potteroo. A potteroo? A wallaby?
Wallaby.
Little wallaby. We've been joined by a wallaby.
Little wallaby called Rocky.
Hi, Rocky. So it sounds like there's been a lot of work that has happened here on the farm with you and Nicole being back on the farm, with increasing that tourism and increasing, what you're doing here. So tell us a little bit about your daily, jobs. There's never a day that's the same on the farm. There's always something that goes wrong or something that comes up. But on a typical day, what do you find yourself doing?
It for us really depends on the year. Because of the emus, it's very seasonal work. So from about Anzac Day till September, October is laying season. So that means they're laying all their eggs and we collect them every day. So normally that's a job of whoever does it for the year. Whoever's not busy doing something else will get up, and so we've got to collect all the eggs every day. So that's at least 1 or 2 people's job to do that. And then looking after the emu chicks as well can be one when they hatch out. And then after that, pretty much anything else that needs doing, depending on what it is, or if there's sheep work to do, cattle work to do, anything like that. And not feeding at the moment, but when it comes to dry time, we don't have to feed too much here, but just cutting trees and all that sort of stuff. So it's normally, and then looking after the family too with family time. So in Thea already, now she's at preschool, so that's opens our days up a little bit, but getting her ready for preschool can be a challenge sometimes. Getting her up on time and to the bus. So
Sounds like adjusting to the farm was fairly natural to you.
Yeah, not too bad. I had a lot of family that was around farming and stuff, so I've spent a lot of time on farms growing up. Everywhere. So it's sort of not living on there full time, but I've been around farms for a long time as a kid, and so it's not too different. Too much stuff. So
if you had a mate who was moving to a farm for the first time, what advice would you give him or her?
Just to have fun. Enjoy it. There's some things can be stressful, depending on where you move and all that, obviously, but I think just to keep a positive outlook on it, and make sure you still keep in contact with the other friends and other people if you move away from them, just because that's helpful to have friends and that you can talk to, and not be so isolated. If you're like moving somewhere, you might be isolating, you still have people to chat to, and I think it's a big one, especially when times do get tough, which they always do in farming. There's always good times, but there's always tough times, so that's just how life goes.
You've been on farm 9 years, so you were here during the last drought. Can you tell me any tips or tricks that you developed that you would be applying to this hard time? Because it looks like we're going into a dry season again.
I think staying positive is a big one. I know that can be really hard, especially when it gets really tough, even financially, or just physically it can get pretty tough, but I think just staying positive is always a good thing. So I think staying that positive, and we're lucky enough here, I suppose, that our emus are our main business, so our sheep and cattle, when it does look to get dry, we can sell a few off to sort of destock a little bit, and we've got a lot of scrubby trees around here, so cutting them is quite, at least we don't have to sit there and feed them all day. Like we are actually pretty lucky when it comes to that sort of stuff, so
Water supply wise, what sort of system have you got set up here?
So we've got bore water, which is our main one, which again, very lucky to have such a constant supply of water. Can get pretty scary at times. I remember Christmas, I think it was on Christmas Day one year, our bore pump stopped working, so that was a bit of a, bit scary on Christmas in the middle of summer that, sort of not have water. But we were very lucky enough, we got a very big dam out the back too, that is about 40 metres above where we are at the moment, so when Phil put that in, he run a pipe all the way so we can gravity it back, so we got the airlock out of that and gravity it back to the tank. So that was a nice Christmas morning, sitting in the dam on the water, so can't ask for too many better jobs to do on Christmas. At least you're in the water.
That's right.
So very lucky that we got a lot of dams, so rainwater storage, and big dams, one big dam, and then the bore waters.
No, the farm jobs definitely don't stop, even for Christmas and birthdays.
No, definitely not, unfortunately.
I think one of the biggest tips I usually give out is, okay, if something happens, you take Christmas or you take the Sunday roast down the paddock. You know, you still have it, just you're not having it at home.
And that happens a lot. From the farm, you just, you can plan as much as you can, but something will always go wrong or something happens, and unfortunately you just can't stop. So that's okay. It's still fun. So.
Dan, when you look back to what you knew before you moved the farm and to your level of knowledge now, was there anything that stands out for learning?
I think learning stuff on hand and dipping like on farm and in the paddock and that sort of stuff. Just learning stuff, in the paddock or as you're going sort of thing. So I was a mechanic before I came out here, so I did my trade in Dubbo and learned lots of things, but just invaluable experience learning from different people out here who have been working on things when you don't have all the tools, the right tool or the right parts somewhere, just being able to fix something up and that sort of stuff. Learning to drive lots of different machinery and things, just something you don't normally get to do when you're in town. So just learning all that has been, very, very good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. So.
Did you find you had other base skills or roles that you were able to bring into helping you here on the farm? Anything you did previously that you brought out to help?
So I think mechanicking definitely helped. I know when I first moved out here, a piece of advice my uncle gave me was don't tell anyone you're a mechanic because you'll spend all your days mechanicking, not farming. So that was a good piece of advice, just to sort of do it if you need to, but don't say that, because he did the same thing at his job, and he said he spent the next few years just mechanicking full time, fixing all the stuff. So, but it's been very handy to do that, to fix any of that sort of stuff. And I suppose just general maintenance, DIY sort of stuff. And that sort of thing, and did a little bit of an electrical stuff while I was at school, so even that little bit's just nice to, just little jobs in here and there, so you don't have to pay someone, the few hours travel just to get here, even just the little jobs, so it's been really handy.
And finding someone to come out to start with, doesn't matter whether you're just outside the city limits or whether you're a couple of hours away, getting someone to actually come out and do a job is hard.
Oh, it's incredible, especially at the moment, in the last few years especially, it's just been really difficult to get anyone to come out, so having the skills here that we can do a lot of it ourselves is handy. Some things you can't, obviously, but you can have most of it done, so they don't have to spend long here, hopefully.
Was there any other skills, training or learning that you've had to do to increase your skill base here on the farm that you did either, officially or unofficially?
Nothing really officially. Learned how to weld and that sort of stuff, which is, you can't really be on a farm with knowing little bits, learning how to weld and, all that sort of different little things, but a lot of plumbing sort of work, because out here we do our own plumbing, because like you said, there's not many plumbers even in Dubbo, so let alone getting them out here, so all that sort of work, and just lots of little things you didn't think you'd really need to know how to do and know how to do now, which is great.
With your kids now joining you on the farm with your two beautiful kids, is there anything that you're finding you're doing differently now than when you first moved out? Any tweaks or changes to your day that have made things go smoother, having kids out here?
One of the biggest changes we've known, especially having Thea, like the first one was dinner times was a huge one, especially in daylight saving. Like, normally on farm you're out till the sun goes down, whereas so quite often before that we'd be having dinner at 9, 10 o'clock at night, whereas now you're trying to have dinner at 6 o'clock, and it's just trying to juggle that. We're trying to do the work and stuff was pretty difficult. But I think especially working at that, just to try and stick to that, and we can all sit down and have dinner together. Even if we've got to get back out afterwards to do jobs, it's just nice to do that as a family.
I always say that to friends, you can always go back out.
And that's it. I think spending time with the family's invaluable too. It's not they're just as important, or if not more important than the work and everything else. I know it all needs to get done, but so that's always nice.
Safety on the farm is something I'm always asked about, whether either for yourself and Nicole or for your kids. Is there anything that's changed in the last 5 years safety-wise on the farm?
I suppose especially getting eggs, we do a lot of that on motorbikes. So that was a big one, having fairies. We had to take the ute out most of the time, because until she got old enough to ride on a bike or anything, it's just, even if you're holding her all the time, it's still, if something happened, you just feel too dangerous that you don't want anything to happen there. So that's been a big one, just to try and adjust that sort of stuff. And driving utes more than motorbikes and stuff till she gets old enough to have a helmet on and all that sort of stuff. That's been a big one. Most other stuff, it's not been too bad. I suppose when you've got the cattle around too, just making sure Thea found quickly love to climb everywhere, so you turn around, next minute she's at the top of a gate or top of a fence, and especially with the emu, we've got a lot of tall fences here, so she'll climb right up. They're 8 foot fences, 8 foot gates one time. She was only about 12 months old and she was at the top of the gate, and Nicole didn't notice, so that's a bit, just keep an eye on them, that they're not in a dangerous situation, but kids will be kids unfortunately in that sort of thing, so that'll be right.
So that's all at the end of my official questions. Did you have anything that you would add for people moving to the farm for the first time?
I think really depends where you're moving to, but especially us moving out here was, I play a lot of golf, involved in the 2 Arena Golf Club now too, so I think finding things in the local town, trying to get to know the locals and that sort of stuff is really nice. And especially your neighbours too, I suppose, getting to know your neighbours fairly early. Because yeah, we've noticed a few times when there's been an emergency or something and we've had to leave, just having neighbours even just to feed the dogs or just look after water or something. Yeah, it's just, yeah, you can't beat having good neighbours around if you have to pack up and head off, which has happened a few times. So it's just, yeah, I think that's a good thing, getting to know them and, yeah, to know some of the locals.
Yeah. And how did you go about meeting the locals?
I wasn't too bad because Nicole grew up here, so Nicole's been here her whole life. So a lot of locals knew her already, and yeah, spent a bit of time there when I was going out with her too, so that wasn't too bad. But yeah, playing golf definitely helped a lot. So yeah, I'm very president of the golf club at the moment, so that was sort of nice getting a lot of locals in there, spending a bit of time there, and yeah, and obviously at the local pub. So all the time at the Mountain View, which is nice just to catch up with people and get to know what's going on and know people and different things. So yeah,
that's really good.
Yeah, and did a bit of work there too. So that's even just nice to get to know everyone when you're the other side of the bar too. You get to know a lot of people and what's going on. So yeah.
Thank you very much, Dan, for having me out here today. It's been an absolutely beautiful drive and a perfect view for the Warrumbungles right here at the Emu Farm. So this is Emu Logic. If you want to know anything else about Dan and his farm, I'll add some of the links for the website and the farm shop down below. And so you can find them there as well as the social media links. So thank you very much, Dan.
No worries at all. Thank you.
Until next time, I'll talk to you soon.